What's going on, everybody? It's FREEDO here for your Overwatch. Sombra is getting buffed or reworked or changed. However, we're going to evaluate this. Jeff Goodman posted onto the forums that actually a set of PTR changes that weren't supposed to go into the live patch did end up going live, but they had already hotfixed them by this point. I tried to go test it after I found out, but they said they were going to remove them. However, this is stuff that they're trying to change on the PTR, which we'll be seeing soon. Well, what are those changes to Sombra? These are some really big ones, so I hope you're strapped in. No longer gains ult from health pack healing. Her weapon spread is decreased by 10%. Hacking speed is increased from taking 0.8 seconds into taking 0.65 seconds. And hacking disables even more abilities, namely ones that require a button press. Genji and Hanzo will get disrupted in wall climb, and Genji will have his double jump removed. Pharah and Mercy's hovering abilities, so Pharah's hover jets and Mercy's angelic descent that allows her to float around, will both be disabled. And on Lucio, his current crossfade song will be disabled, so the passive aura will get removed with a hack. Hack gets a buff, and EMP in general gets a bit of a buff, but a nerf in terms of how you're able to charge it, because that health pack was definitely the fastest way to charge just about any ult in the game. And Jeff Goodman explained that the idea here is to take some of the power out of her ult and the awkwardness of ult gain through health packs and give more power and usefulness into the rest of her kit. Now, what do we think about this? This is something that Blizzard said that they weren't trying to do with Sombra for a very long time. They wanted her kit to be pushed more towards utility, I guess, whether you call that supportive or off-supportive, cooldown based, however you want to describe the character. They wanted to give her less damage and more abilities to be able to utilize on her opponents, but now they're leaning more towards her being more lethal and have her gameplay a bit more snappier, because really hacking a target, even with the speed that they had buffed it to originally, was so easy to interrupt. It was really hard to utilize it in a non-stealthy way. Like, sometimes you could sneak it in there in between somebody's cooldowns while somebody's reloading or whatever, so they can't interrupt you, but most of the time it wasn't a very responsive or reactive ability. You had to catch somebody with their pants down, basically. Now, we were trying to test these things, and I think I was starting to catch it while it was still live, but then as we were setting up the private match to test all these other things, they had already hotfixed it away, and none of these things are live anymore. But what's interesting is, this is going to significantly put Sombra into a different category, and I'm really interested because I know a lot of you were concerned, let's say, about my video about Tracer possibly needing a nerf. I mean, I didn't say I thought she needed a nerf in the video, by the way. I don't think she needs a nerf, but Tracer is a bit problematic in the highest levels of play, as I explained in that video, and a character like Sombra, who gets a bit more snappy in her engagements and has a more responsive mid-fight hack, can definitely sneak in more hacks onto Tracer, and the ability to hack zippy cooldown based flanker characters. Tracer's like number one, but Genji's in there as well. Anything that is disrupting your backline and can use their cooldowns to either do something useful or get away is going to kind of be silenced by Sombra now. Instead of using most of her abilities kit into her EMP, now she has a bit more responsiveness in the mid-fight. Is this good enough? Well, it's tough to say, because Sombra was insane. Like point B on Anubis, while you're defending, the power of charging EMP through that mega health pack attached right to the point when you have respawn advantage was so insane that you could aggressively throw resources at the enemy and probably have EMP like every fight. It was terrible to try to push into. Now, I think you can figure out how to counter it. I don't think it was necessarily OP, but that entire strategy is going to be removed entirely, and they are pushing Sombra into more of a pure DPS duelist type character with her ability to quickly do the other things she does other than just charge up EMP really well through healing. The question is this 10% spread reduction significant enough to really increase her damage? And again, I had like a few seconds to test this out while it was on live, and from what I could feel shooting the training bots, who granted have really massive head hitboxes, 10% spread reduction felt really good. I felt a lot more consistent at being able to do damage at further ranges, especially. However, I'm not exactly sure where this leaves her, because Sombra wasn't getting a lot of play except in those specific scenarios I'm talking about, namely to get EMP. And now without that health charge rate, you're going to get EMP a lot slower. Yes, it and hack is a bit better because it also stops a lot of movement abilities now. I mean, stopping angelic descent would have been nice in the Mercy meta, don't you think? She'd be forced to float down towards you when she was hacked. This rework buff might put Sombra in a really good place as a anti-DPS type character. If this buff isn't enough, I would like to see the hack time go down to even 0.5 seconds and see if that works, because I think that's kind of the key. Sombra getting those mid-fight hacks in a clutch scenario, like for instance, if you could potentially quickly get it onto a Reinhardt before he hammers down, or the difference of popping it on a monkey before he hits you and starts knocking you around, disrupting your channeling to finish the hack, is all the difference, right? So the faster and snappier that ability is, I think is really the key to push her in this new direction. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it a like. It really does help us out and lets us know that you're enjoying the content. If you haven't already, please subscribe because we upload each and every day, so you're going to want to hit the bell icon so that you get notified when our videos go live. And hey, we've been streaming a couple times on Twitch. Remember that? We used to do that all the time. Be sure to follow us on Twitter for updates on that, or head over to our Twitch page so you can see when our streams go live. That's been it for me. I've been FREEDO for Your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.